Good morning, and welcome back to the Great White North. I know most of us on the eastern side of the country got hit pretty hard over the last day or two. So wherever you are, I hope you are safe and warm and have power. We didn't do too bad. The snow started about 7 o'clock yesterday morning. I spent most of Saturday, or 7 o'clock Sunday morning. I spent most of Saturday afternoon and evening scrambling to figure out how we were going to do church service yesterday because I was the worship leader, and you'll get to hear that next week. But we don't have protocols in place for some reason for heavy snow. It's New York. For the most part, we can handle the roads just fine. The problem with this was that the storm was starting just before church, and it was going to get to what it looked like was going to be its peak while we were in service. It's a lot easier if the storm started on Saturday and we had time to clear it, or we had time to see how bad it was going to be. Was the forecast actually accurate? Well, this forecast was absolutely accurate, and by the time we got out of church, there was already 1.5 inches of snow on the ground, and it was only going to get worse. And worse it got. We've got here, depending on where you go, between 12 and 16 inches. You could see when I was going out to take care of the chickens and the rabbits, that snow was practically up to my knees. Now, I'm not a tall person, and my legs are the shortest part about me, but that's more than 12 inches, so that's why I'm saying between 12 and 16. I think the front of the house is a little more protected, so it doesn't get quite as deep out front. So I've done my contribution to the shoveling. I'm going to get Josh and Morgan out here later to, probably in stages, clear the driveway. At first we're like, well, let's go out at noon, 1 o'clock, and do a pre-shovel, and then we can clear it again and not have as much snow. But at that time of the day, I'm like, I don't wanna, and Josh kind of agreed with me. So whether for good or ill, I'm not sure. I was worried that there would be ice following this, and it's a lot easier to clear ice if it's on top of snow than if it's underneath snow. So I will, given the option, I will let it snow and finish snowing before we move on to do anything. The cars are going to be insane to clear. That is so much snow, and I think I'm going to tell the guys, you should clear the cars first and then shovel the driveway so that you don't have to re-clear. Although maybe it'd be better to do the driveway first and then re-clear it because it wouldn't be as deep. I don't know. I'll let them figure it out. I've done my part. This week, I'm not sure how much we're going to do besides clearing snow. It's Morgan's last week here on the farm, which is a good thing. He is going to be moving to Germany to be with his partner who lives there and works there in the southern part of the country. And he's been looking forward to doing this for a very long time. They've been together 13, 14 years, I think. But always long distance. So they're finally going to get to be together. And I'm very happy for both of them. And it's been funny this past week or 2 weeks, I've been teaching Morgan how to cook like all the family recipes because he wasn't really motivated to do it before now. But now that he's not going to be here and have access to Mom's cooking, he's taking it with him. And he made amazing bread the other day. It was so good. And I learned something teaching him, so that was a good process. But so this week is going to be a lot of time spent getting him ready to go, getting the stuff he's not taking with him into storage, and just preparing for that big life change for both of us. I'll be back to being alone in the house. I did get word on my surgery date for my foot, and it's not until mid-May, which I'm a little frustrated by. I really wanted to do it this time of year when I don't have to be on my feet very much, and that's going to be right in the middle of planting season. So I'm frustrated that we didn't get this done sooner. But it is what it is. That's the best date, and I figure I can at least get most everything into the garden, and anything, I can't put the peppers, the tomatoes, any eggplant, things like that, those really tender perennials in until at least a week after my surgery. So I will be dependent on the kindness of friends, but I'm going to get those beds prepped. Everything else I'm going to get in the ground and mulch it within an inch of its life. I will at least have cleaned out. We've got the pile of bedding from the rabbitry that we cleaned out a couple of months ago. We'll have at least one more load, probably two. So I should be able to mulch those beds really well before I go in for my surgery. But that's a problem for March and April. And right now, the problems today is a whole heck of a lot of snow.